Hi, everybody. Welcome or welcome back. Welcome back. Doo-doo. I love opening my videos like that. So, just a little melody for you. But today I am here not to sing to you, but to share what am I reading for Nonfiction November. Now, Nonfiction November is a month where, well, let me go back. It was created by YouTuber Olive. Her name is Olive, a book Olive. I think that was the name. I'll leave the link of her YouTube page below. However, she created nonfiction November over 10 years ago, because this year will be the 11th year. And so I've never really participated video wise in sharing my books that I'm reading. So I decided this year, why not? Because I am a heavy nonfiction reader. A lot of my books that I read now in my present day, in this era of my life, are mostly nonfiction. And it was a progression. So you have those who will progress to other genres. And this was the one that I decided, you know what? Let me dig into some things that that are interest to me. And the more I read about various nonfiction subjects, the more it had opened my mind to various subgenres under nonfiction. So nonfiction is for everyone. And that's what I want to say. But most importantly, I want to share some of the books that I have on my TBR for Nonfiction November. And I also have a video coming out. Another video coming out for Nonfiction November. They will be book recs, but not what I'm reading at the current moment. So let's get into this TBR. The first book that I have is A History of the Muslim World from its origins to the modern day modernity. And this is Michael Cook. I'm currently reading this right now because for two reasons. One is it is nonfiction November. And two, I do have it on my 25 or 2025 books that I'm trying to finish by the end of this year. So as long as I finish this by December 31st, 11:59 p.m., we're good. So I'm kind of like a quarter through this book. And so I do plan on finishing it the end of this year. But yeah, for Nonfiction November. Now, this book, it just talks, well, not just, but it talks about the culture and how the Muslim faith, the origins of the Muslim faith, and how it has, how can I say, revolutionized or evolved, not revolutionized, evolved since its origin. So it's coming out to be pretty good so far. The next one is, well, you know what? Let me get my other 2025. The next one I am currently reading is Combi by Etta L. Phil Black. This is the story of Harriet Tubman and her role in the Civil War, how she commanded an army of former enslaved individuals, and their part in how they fought for freedom for America. This is turning out to be heavier than I thought, but it's a good read, you guys. It's once I'm done with this book, I definitely will be doing a detailed, descriptive book review on this book. The next one that I would like to introduce to you guys is No Immediate Danger, Volume 1 of the Carbon Ideologies. I'm reading this right now because it is so pressing. We are currently, a lot of our EPA laws have been reversed, and in the safety of our environment, the danger has doubled. I'm going to say tripled, because a lot of those EPA, which stands for Environmental Protection Agency, a lot of those EPA legislation, the legislation has been reversed under the current administration. And so I think that if you are a citizen of the United States, we should all be concerned. We should all be concerned about the pollutant in our air, our drinking water, our food, our soil. And so reading this book is not only timely, but I do want to add this to my nonfiction November. Um, Author William T. Ballman. This, like I said, this is a volume one of a volume two, but it's part of a four-part series. So I am on volume one. Hopefully, I will begin to volume two shortly after I read this. I want to keep going until I finish the series. So pretty good. William T. Ballman, No Immediate Danger. Heavy is not really heavy. The book itself, it really covers the history of waste and how we can, restore energy in our country. Next book that I have is How to Survive a Plague, the inside story of citizens and science how they tame AIDS. David France. This right here is considered probably one of my most look forward reads. World AIDS Day is December the 1st. And so I'm kind of preparing myself to do a review on this, hopefully by the end of November, so I can share with you guys and definitely give you guys a list of recommendations or book recs for World AIDS Day, because you may not be personally affected by AIDS, but the AIDS and HIV affects us all. And since we are having a uptick in positive HIV results, I think this is a timely topic for us to actually address and really have these conversations about intimacy and other intravenous drug use that really increases your chance to be exposed to HIV. So yeah, timely but necessary. This is on my nonfiction November list. And last but not least, I have Troubled Memory, Anne Levy, The Holocaust, and David Duke's Louisiana. And the more I look at this book, the more hunting it looks by Lawrence N. Powell. And this talks about David Duke's part in, how can I say, his part in the terrorism and the racial riot that took place in Louisiana. So I am so looking forward to, by the end of November, at least cracking this book open, if not finishing it. This has been on my mental TVR for several years, and then I was able to acquire this book earlier this year, and so I do want to read it, so I can check this off my box and share with you guys. And yeah, just I hope it lives up to the expectations that I am looking forward to in understanding this particular how can I say, this particular historical situation in life. So let's just say that. And so with these books right here on my list, I think that my plate is full. Like, I have other nonfiction books that I'm reading. Actually, let me grab this one right here, because I wasn't going to add it because I'm like literally in the middle of reading it. This one right here is The Translucent Revolution. I am currently reading it right now, and I got my pen in there. And this is a spiritual book that talks about, the evolution and transformation of changing your mind, whether it's psychologically, whether it's educationally, spiritually. So this is definitely not a heavy read, but it's very detail heavy. So I look forward to sharing that in the future with you guys if you're interested. But to close this video, I have to ask, What books are you reading for Nonfiction November? Are you participating in Nonfiction November? And if so, please, leave in the comments what books are you reading. If not, what can I do to convince you to crack open one book for Nonfiction November? Okay, y'all. Until later, bye bye.